Then, hi everybody. I am here to talk about Square Foot Show, but you have to give me just a second or two because I am trying to go live on Instagram at the same time. So I am live. So Instagram, you are live. I am not sure I am live on Instagram yet. That is a bit of a problem. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry that if Jodie or Michelle, if you could see if I'm live on my Instagram on your phones, that would be great. I'm sorry. This is all the little preamble. I want to talk to you all about the Square Foot Show, which is so awesome. And we are just a few hours before the 48-hour preview. And I want to introduce you to a couple of artists, but I want to make sure once you're live, you'll find it at the top of your feed on your Instagram. So I'm going to go to my Instagram. And I'm going to try to go live. I'm not sure it's working. Oh, the live is working. Apparently the live is working. Okay, I'm live on everything. Jodie, did you see me live on Instagram? Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. I am still a newbie. We just introduced this new platform. It's called StreamYard. It's kind of fun. And what it does is it allows me to go live on multiple platforms. So we are here on YouTube, we're here on Instagram, and we're here on Facebook. So I'm so excited to tell you all about Square Foot Show. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Square Foot Show. We usually did a live just before we opened the show. And we opened the show this time on Black Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 29th. And usually we did a show about half an hour before. And I'll tell you the reason for that. But this time we decided, you know what, we need to do this live at the 48-hour, just before the 48-hour preview, because people would get on that Friday, the opening night, but they hadn't previewed all the work. So we thought we'd come ahead a couple of days and do our live and interview a couple of artists ahead of time. So Square Foot Show was started in my studio many years ago, about 10 years ago. And it grew from just me being, having about 40 paintings to me starting to invite other artists. And it grew, so I had about 200 paintings every year. We'd have a lineup down the street and it was just fabulous. But I had never taken it online, and I was growing my own Instagram following and Facebook following at that point. And I had a lot of customers asking, how do we get in on it? And I was like, it's an in-person show. And then COVID hit, and COVID, it was a very difficult time, but we had to pivot. We had to zig. And we took Square Foot Show online, and it was a very big success. We had more shoppers than we ever dreamed. We virtually sold out in a couple of days, and it was absolutely thrilling. We actually sold about 21 paintings in duplicate. So the artists had to paint more, offer different ones to the buyers, and it was absolutely fantastic. So we went, because that was just the Julia Veenstra Square Foot Show. We decided to create a company called Square Foot Show, and we took it online. And I have a team that I work with. I have Brock, and I have Lindsay, and I have Elias, and we are the four that have created Square Foot Show. So if you're an artist and you're watching, you can go to squarefootshow.com, and you can apply to our shows. We've taken the show from 1 a year, and I'm seeing people log in. Hello from Serbia, from Italy. It's so fun to see you all. We have taken the show from 1 show a year. We went to 2 to 3 shows in a year. We went to 4 to 6 shows in a year. And in January, we are starting with 12 shows a year. It's a fast and furious show. And in January, the show will only be a 24-hour show. You'll log in, you'll have to buy, and you'll have to, that's it. You're going to have 24 hours. We've opened it up because of the online platform. We've been able to open it up to artists really around the world. We've had artists from England, we've had artists from Dubai, we've had all sorts of artists in India, we've had artists join. So anybody can join Square Foot Show. You just need to apply for our shows at squarefootshow.com. And it's been so fun to develop this and to explore the world of art and to lift artists up and give an opportunity for them to connect with new buyers. So that's the neat thing about Square Foot Show as well, is that we are a show, we're not a gallery. So we want you to connect with the artist, and we want the artist to connect with the clientele. So we want them to build, because what we want is for you to get your square foot painting and then go on and buy bigger and better and more from the artists that you follow and love. So there's the concept. There's that it's an online show. All the paintings are 12 by 12. All the paintings sell for 350 Canadian and 300 US. Shipping is free. There will be applicable taxes added to your cost, but shipping is free. And right now, I just want to say this right now, that here in Canada, we are having a postal strike, and it has not been solved yet. And I don't think it's going to be solved by Friday. So we are, Square Foot Show, we're going to be looking into some quotes from UPS and things like that for artists, but it may be a little bit delayed with our Canadian system getting you work, because we're going to have to pivot. A lot of the artists use Canada Post. What a time to have a strike, eh? Just before Christmas. They're making their point, whatever the point is. And we have to pivot with it. So they're zigging, we're going to zag. And just know that. And we're going to try to get you all these pieces before Christmas if you're buying for Christmas. And this is an awesome opportunity. So this is a sale for most of the artists. We have some emerging artists who $300 American, $350 Canadian is, where about they sell their paintings. I sell my 12 by 12s for $600 at this point. So I have 15 paintings in the show, and you can go to squarefootshow.com and you can sign up for our newsletter. And it's so exciting. I had a YouTube the other day that I talked a little bit about this, and over 100 people, 100 of you have gone over there and signed up for the newsletter. So what the newsletter is going to do is give you a preview tonight at 8 o'clock. The preview is going to go live. And in this show, this is Julia and Friends. We have different themes for all our shows, but in this show, I chose the artists that over the years have proven to have such caliber work and who have sold out in many of our other shows. So these are sell-out artists. This is an opportunity for you to get a piece from a sellout artist. And I don't know how that sounds. They're not selling out badly. They're selling out really, really well. So I'm going to go first to Michelle Paredes, because she has a really neat story that I want to talk to her about. And go to squarefootshow.com and you will be able to sign up for the preview. And I'm going to talk to Michelle now. I'm going to bring her on. There you are.
Hi, Julia. Can you hear me?
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And you?
I'm really good. So Michelle is in Ottawa, Ontario, correct?
I'm in Montreal, actually.
Oh,
In
in
Quebec.
Montreal, even
Yes.
cooler. And you'll be able to hear when in Michelle's voice that she has a lovely accent.
Yes, French accent.
Yes. So behind you, those are the paintings that you have in the show.
Yes, those are the 4 paintings that I created for this show. Yeah.
Well, the thing I kind of want to ask you about, Michelle,
Yeah.
is I want to ask you about what Square Foot Show has done for you in your career and how it has helped you grow.
Oh,
Could you
wow.
tell us that story?
Yeah, I can totally tell you that story. Actually, Square Foot Show kind of put me on the map, if we can say it like that.
Love it.
At first, I was when I started this art journey, if I can say it like that. I was obviously working from home, trying to sell my art at local events and things like that. And the first Square Foot show that I did was Painting the West with Julie DeBoer as a headliner.
Yeah.
And that was back when I was living in Vancouver. So I spent 3 years living in BC. And yeah, my work, I was surprised to see that my 4 or 5 pieces at that time sold out like on opening night,
Yeah.
which was really exciting. And then things kind of picked up from there. Obviously, like you mentioned in your little intro, more people kind of came to me for different pieces that I had on my website. And I did a few more Square Foot shows with you and sold out each time. So I was really lucky and very grateful about that. And yeah, and just kept growing and started working with your gallery and Hamilton, Crown and Press, and started working with other galleries also in Ontario. And yeah, it just kind of picked up after that. And I think that really got my career really started. So I'm so grateful to Square Foot Show for having me.
We just love this story. And you know what? It's interesting because I did not know this story until you were in my gallery, Crown and Press.
Yes.
And then you were here visiting and you told me the story and I went, "What?
Yeah.
What?" You had always been on my radar, I guess, from the time I think did Julie bring you in? Did she introduce you to were you
I believe it must have been her because I think she was the headliner at that time. And I had applied to Square Foot Show previously and I hadn't been invited to a show before that. And I was with Julie DeBoer's Mastrius at that time. I'm still with them, actually. Now I work as a navigator with them. And
That's so
so, yeah, Julie, I guess it's Julie who invited me. And yeah, I just started, like, picked up from there and, like,
and
kind of
and
went with this.
And Michelle has a really neat story that not all of us get so quickly. I've been working on this forever, and she passed me. When you started in Square Foot Show, how many Instagram followers did you have?
Oh, my God. Not a lot. I want to say, I don't know. I think it was under 100.
Under 100. Last time I checked, Michelle, what's your count?
I think I'm at 45,000 followers on Instagram right now.
Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. I am
Yeah.
thrilled with that. And I'm like, what did you do? Can you teach me how to do the reels, the way you're doing them?
I do a lot of those art reveal reels, short and sweet,
Yep.
like focused videos that clearly show the art. And yeah.
And that's a neat thing about what we've grown here at Square Foot Show, isn't it? You've met so many different artists who give each other tips and things like that and just help each other grow. Like I'm finding on Square Foot Show, you'll see if you go to Square Foot Show Instagram, that's another place where I want you to go. Square Foot Show Instagram and just sign up there because we've been posting all the art from all the artists in this show, and we'll do that for every show. There'll be lots to see there. Go there, and what you'll see in the stories is really neat because the artists are not just sharing stories with us about their own work, they're sharing stories about the favorite work that they're seeing in the show. And they're supporting each other that way because in my eyes, there's room for everyone.
True.
There's room because people buy from Michelle does not mean they have bought less from me.
Nope.
Right? And I love the work that you're showing. It seems very BC still. I'm not sure you see these waves in Montreal.
No, obviously not Montreal. A lot of inspiration is obviously still the West Coast. But I've traveled quite a bit in the past few years since my move back to Quebec.
Yep.
And I visited Newfoundland, I visited New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Eastern Quebec by the St. Lawrence. So I gather a lot of my reference material through my travels.
Yes.
And also my past stay in BC. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix, like kind of coast to coast inspiration.
Yes, Michelle is one of the very popular artists at Crown Press as well. And it thrilled me to know that people have found you through Square Foot Show. Then they find you through Instagram, and you're in several galleries now. And what was your job before you became a full-time artist?
I was a pharmacist for 10 years.
Right, guys.
She was related
to being an artist. This is a really fun story. I think one of our Square Foot artists was a dentist.
Yes, Raquel as well.
She's in this show too. And she was a dentist and has now turned to be a full-time artist. So we're thrilled. Did you want to show us anything up close, like one or two of the pictures? And then we're going to move to Jodie Blaney.
Cool. Okay, so I'll show you this one here. So this one is actually very West Coast. It's like this. Sorry. So yeah, this was an image that I shot with my camera on the beach in. I believe this was in Tofino.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to paint it for a long time, but I have so many reference photos that I work with, and I came back to this one, and I was I'm really happy about how it turned out. I actually used this reference photo for a previous painting that I did, and it was like really focused only on the wave. So maybe the collector will recognize this wave.
Well, that's really fun.
Yeah, now I decided to use like a different composition and add a bit more like trees and background. So there we go.
There we go. So this is a little taste of what you're going to get from Michelle. And Michelle, we were talking about the fact that it's a sale for most artists. What do your Square Foot paintings retail for now?
Now 12 by 12s go for $430. So this is actually a good deal because I don't paint very often small work.
Yeah.
Not lately anyways. So now for the holidays, we have the Square Foot Show, and that's a good it's a good deal for people who want to collect and start collecting my work. Yeah.
Right. And a 12 by 12 will fit anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Gallery walls as well. So that's really cool.
My gallery wall is growing. I have them stacked in rooms. I have them in the little spaces between doors. My collection is huge. I think I might be the biggest buyer at Square Foot Show.
It's true. You do have quite a few in your home. It's lovely.
I do. Well, Michelle, best of luck. Like I said, we're not, for anybody watching, we are not doing the live before the shows anymore. We are doing them on before the 48-hour preview, which comes out at 8:00 tonight. So you have to go to squarefootshow.com to sign up. All right. And Michelle, last thing, tell people where we can find you, because we want everybody to find you.
You want me to give out my website? That's it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So it's www.mparadis, Paradis, art.com.
Perfect. And of course on Instagram. And you can find her if you can't remember how to spell her name, you can go to squarefootshow.com or go to Square Foot Show Instagram and find her and then link, because we've got all the artists linked there.
Excellent. Thanks so much for having me, Julia.
I'm taking you off the stage and I'm going to Jodie Blaney.
Okay, bye.
Bye. right, Jodie. There you are.
Hi, Julia.
How
It's
are
so
you?
good to be here. I'm great. Yeah, it's a nice day out here in Vancouver.
Yes,
Cloudy, rain, everything as you'd expect. Yeah.
So we've got you, like you're out in Vancouver. Michelle lived in Vancouver, but is now back in Montreal. But
Yeah.
so tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with Square Foot Show. I'm trying to remember. So before you do that, I'm trying to remember. I always think this with the artists that I've gotten to know and admire their work and love their collections. Like, did they apply to Square Foot Show or did I invite them? I can't remember. So you tell us that story if you remember.
Yeah, I received an invitation from you to participate, so I was very honored and delighted. And I think that I have been 4 or 5 Square Foot shows now, and each
wow.
one, each one has been. I've sold out of my pieces in each show, so I'm very excited about that. And so yeah, it's just amazing to be to have my work in your Square Foot show and to see such the really high caliber of artwork that you share with the world. So it's been a really positive experience, just wonderful.
I agree. I think the caliber of the work, especially in Square Foot Show, is really awesome, and it's going to be even. I'm not going to say better because the artists that we've had are fantastic, but we're even increasing more. Our jury is expanding.
Mm-hmm.
So we're increasing the jury. So I think we're doing some things that's just going to continue to make Square Foot grow in an area that I think galleries are going to come to Square Foot Show just to find artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
tell us more about yourself. Tell us about your topic that you love to paint.
Okay.
Tell us about galleries that you're in and your practice.
Okay. Well, so I'm a full-time artist. I went full-time around 2018. And prior to that, I was working in the publishing world, and I was a freelance copywriter and editor. So I had a very kind of corporate past that went on for years and years and years. And one day I decided to enter a small painting into a local art show out here in Vancouver. And I was so excited when it got accepted because I'd never picked up a paintbrush before. So it was really exciting. It's like, what? You're taking one of the paintings? So it's fantastic. So I went to a local art show and I never really looked back. I was so excited by that. I just continued to paint like daily. Well, let's say it started off weekly, then it became daily.
Sure.
And then I started to get a lot of inquiries about completing some commissions, private commissions. And it just kind of kept going and going. I still wasn't convinced that I could jump in full time. So I continued with all sorts of other jobs. But then in 2018, I said, okay, enough's enough. Artwork is taking over my life and I love it. And I'm going to do it full time. So that's kind of what happened.
So we're always here to give tips and things to new artists as well. Did you go heavy on Instagram, on Facebook? Did you take advantage of the fact that those were free platforms? And is that how you think you built your following?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, social media has been incredibly important. And I jumped in, not super early, but when I saw what was happening and that I really wanted to go on and take advantage of the great audience out there. It took me a couple years, honestly, to really catch on with social media. And then I really haven't looked back, and it's mainly where I spend my time now as a sort of self-representing artist. I really spend a lot of time on social media. So it's been fantastic. It has opened me and my work to a worldwide audience, but particularly in Canada and the US.
Absolutely. And another tip for newbies is to have a conversation. Instagram is all about, interacting, and for you to, don't be that artist that has, follows 12 people and wants everybody to just look at their work. Go follow other artists and comment and encourage each other. And the algorithm loves it. And the audience loves it too. They love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, it's so important to build the community, and when people are commenting on your work, to make sure you engage. And that would be that's a really important tip, I think, for social media. Don't just take a compliment, have a conversation, and encourage people to share your work as well. And as you said, share others and learn from each other, because sometimes another artist is doing something just fantastic and you're like, well, that's a really good idea. Or maybe I need to do more reels, videos, and, you know, just to,
that's
to do
right.
it.
And I always say, you know, there's room for everyone, and ideas aren't always super new. But if somebody's doing something and they're zigging, I always say, do a little bit of a zag,
Yeah.
but build on it, and
Yeah.
you know, take the idea and grow with it. And you know, that's what we did here with Square Foot Show. Years ago, I had been in a couple of Square Foot shows in Toronto. I had been in one in Kitchener at Paula White Diamond. It is a gallery in Kitchener, and both of those had lineups where people would, you know, come to grab these paintings off the walls, and that's how I started mine. In my gallery in Hamilton, I had a little studio, and I would put up pieces, and people would come. And so then when we took it online, it was a big zig,
Yeah.
you know, to take it. And the day after, we had 2,000 people try to hit the site. I don't know. Were you in that first show?
No, you just told me about it. It was it was a little too successful.
It was really successful. My one of my partners hates it when I tell people that we crashed the internet, but we now use Shopify as our platform. And actually, I'm going to segue there. Shopify is absolutely great, and they have a shop app. So for our site, it's absolutely wonderful. If you sign up for the shop app, then it's a really quick buy out. So we also encourage that you don't take a risk and shop around and buy 2 or 3 and have them in your cart, because literally somebody could come and take it out of your cart if you haven't bought it. So we advise that you buy your piece, like put it in your cart, buy it right away. If you have a shop app, it's really great because it'll just text you an instant little code. Boom, that's yours. You don't have to fill in all your numbers and everything. And it's a great way to go. And the artists are going to get your information, your buying information, within 3 days of the show. And then normally they have 10 days to send out their pieces. So the struggle right now is that the Canada Post is having a strike. So the artists, we're going to be in discussion with the artists about different options. Yeah. So they might be using UPS and different things like that. So we just need to give all the artists a little bit of grace on the sending out, because that's the neat thing about Square Foot Show. When I did my show in person, you would have had to send those paintings to me. And they would have been on the wall. And then if you hadn't sold out, I would have had to send them back to you.
Right.
And it would have incurred a lot of expense. This way we can keep that shipping costs, as you know, right now it's free with Square Foot Show. We can keep that free because the artists don't have to triple ship. They don't have to have it coming and going and have all those expenses come up. So how did you develop this style?
Yeah. Okay. So
it's such an interesting style.
Yeah, my style, I would describe my style as West Coast or landscape expressionist work. And you know, honestly, it's one of those really strange things. When I started drawing early on, I'm one of those people that, like, the style just came out of the gate like really fast for me.
Okay.
Although it has been developing over the years, I found myself really drawn to these very whimsical, kind of organic shapes and lines, and I wanted to infuse a lot of energy into my work. And I mean, Emily Carr is obviously a big influence of mine.
Yes, I was going to say it.
But then
if you're not Canadian, Emily Carr was an iconic first woman, probably not the first woman artist in Canada, but the first one to gain any notoriety. She painted a little bit along with the Group of Seven. All of those, if you're not American, if you're not Canadian, look them up because they're Fantastic. Emily Carr and the Group of Seven.
Yeah, and another big influence for my work has been the Canadian artist Lauren Harris, who I believe founded the group. I think he founded the group. Yeah, and the Federation of Canadian Artists. So I like the really clean lines and sort of symbolic shapes.
I can see that.
Simplify, like almost taking the Canadian landscape and kind of simplifying it into very symbolic and strong shapes. I like a lot of clean lines, a little bit of that graphic quality when I paint. And so, yeah, so so this drawing style, this style that I painted, it really did really emerge quite early, like more than 50. I think I've been painting in this style for more than 15 years now, and I've just been painting for over 50. So I went into landscape painting very quickly, but I really wanted to interpret it in my own way. I didn't want to, I didn't want to paint realistic way. I didn't want to paint realistically. I wanted to kind of paint more from a place of like remembering places I've been, a place of memory and emotion, a lot of optimism, bringing sort of joy into the painting. So definitely an interpretive approach rather than.
Yes. And you've managed to do that really well, because I see your work. You know, I don't even have to read who it is.
Well, but I love to hear that. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a Jodie Blaney. And I think that's what people are going to find in this show particular. These are really established artists that are in the Julia and Friends on Friday night, and it's going to be great. So, okay, I'm going to go on to Jen Vandenbroek, but where can we find you outside of Square Foot Show? And what does your 12 by 12s normally go for as well?
Well, they would be going for at least for most of my pieces, honestly, in my whole collection go for sort of 500 and up. So I would say the 12 by 12s are probably closer to about 400, 425. So it'll be priced well in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can find me online at jodieblaney.com and on Instagram and Facebook at Jodie Blaney Fine Art. That's where you can find me.
You're not in any galleries?
I'm purely self-representing at the moment. I have been with some galleries in the past, but I am self-representing. It just works for me locally here. And but I do several shows in the Vancouver area a year. So I'm very busy with art shows.
Well, we'll have to talk. We'll have to talk.
Sounds good.
All right.
Have
a great day. And
Thanks,
it has been a pleasure, and best of luck in the show, which I don't think is going to be a problem. I think you're going to sell out again, and do you have a small one to show?
I do. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've
got that real fast, and then we'll go on to Jen.
Here's an example of kind of more like whimsical drawing style. So this one is called Moon Dance. So you can see like
kind of Christmassy.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of Christmas. And I have another one that's a bit of a Christmas feel as well. This one is called It Came Upon a Midnight Clear.
That's
So I'm going to have 5 in the show. So I'm so excited.
That's very exciting. All right. Good luck. The preview comes out tonight. Everybody, again, squarefootshow.com to sign up for the preview.
Okay. Thanks, Julia. Bye.
All right. Now we're adding Jen.
Hi, Julia. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Jen, I can never say your last name right. Did I do it? Okay.
That's common. It's Vandenbroek.
Vandenbroek. I need to actually sound it out.
It's very common. It's not intuitive because it's an OE at the end.
And my husband is Dutch. I should be used to all these names by now.
Yeah. Well, you've got an easy one with please.
Apparently Veenstra is like Smith.
Yeah. And my maiden name, De Boer, is the farmer, and it's like millions of Dutch people have that name. So
yes. But hi. I'm super excited because I want to hear your story. But I met Jen through the program called Mastrius that Julie De Boer runs, and I met her because she took a course. I was a mentor in Mastrius, and Jen was in my mentor group. So there's a whole group of you that have kind of stayed together and painted together and have succeeded together.
Yeah, it's been a neat, it's had incredible staying power since we're no longer, most of us are with Mastrius anymore. Like it was a huge part of our growth. And since then, we've all kind of launched into our own niche but stayed very much connected. Yeah.
And I remember one of the first Square Foot shows you were in. I'm trying to think. Julie was, again,
Yeah.
Julie was the headliner when we went live to her, and you guys, a few of you were having a glass of wine watching the show there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then the show went live, and then all of you started selling out in minutes.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was my first square foot show, I think. And yeah, it's been a game changer for me, to say the least. I think mentorship combined with the square foot show,
Yep.
it's just been unreal. Like how, yeah, it's changed my career.
So tell us where you are. Show us a few pieces, but also tell us, you started, with mentors and you started entering shows, but now how many galleries are you in? And, a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, no, I am in 3 galleries. I'm in Crown and Press recently, and also with Laurie Meebor's gallery, County Creative in Picton, Ontario. And then I've got a gallery here, Lynham House in Okotoks. So yeah.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah, and I just became full-time as of April. And so that is a totally different animal too. Like doing it full-time, I think has really allowed me to really lean in and paint exactly what I want. And the galleries.
What did you leave?
I was a copywriter at Mastrius, and I was a copywriter. I did that. I've worked at that for several years, and I was also teaching art workshops to little kids and after-school programs.
Very good.
Yeah, but now.
So what does going full-time look like for you? Is it a 9 to 5? Is it a 5 to midnight? What is it for you?
Yeah, it's both. Like you said, anytime I can get in the studio, because I've got teenagers at home and they're still, we've got a really busy family. So I do during the day. Yeah. Sometimes into the wee hours. I've got a lot of commissions on the side, and I'm doing a solo show here at someone's has a beautiful home that I'm going to do just a home show. So
that's a brilliant tip. That is a brilliant tip. Now, let's talk about that. That's interesting. Did they invite you? Did you approach them? Are you giving them art? How is that working?
Yeah, it's a good friend of mine, so it helps. And they just had a home built by a beautiful designer, York Avenue Homes. And we just thought, let's combine this, because I do sell a lot of work out east because I'm in Calgary. So I have a lot of gallery, and a lot of clients in out east and in the States, but locally, I think I'd like to just expand my profile a little bit more and just have that interaction. And so my friend suggested a show in her home, and we're running with it. So it's going to be a big party.
All right, guys, all you artists, what a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Go door knocking on the mansions in your neighborhood.
Well, and it's just so fun to have art in person. Like the online thing is amazing. Like you said, you don't have to triple ship, but it really is just kind of a neat community thing. And we're raising some money for a local agency here that helps families. I'm donating a couple paintings, and so it's all around festive.
That's wonderful. Jen. Yep. And just on that note as well, we're going to 12 shows next year, but a couple of them are going to be raising money for, certain charities. We haven't quite chosen them yet, but I think they're going to be around kids and education, and it's even art education. So it's something we're really excited about and expanding. It's just a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy because everyone chips in, and it makes it easier to manage a big donation, and someone wins a piece of art, and it's community.
Oh, that's fun. And to talk about someone wins a piece of art, anybody who is on our newsletter list has the opportunity to win a piece of art. And this time it's a piece of art from me. So it's a value of $600. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you will be automatically entered, and we send those off. And Jennifer has such a neat style. So we were just talking, and you saw with Jodie, her unique style, and you saw Michelle's style. And let's take a look at you, because would you say nostalgia is, or how would you describe your painting style?
Yeah, I mean, they're figurative. So I'll show you one here. I've got, it's called, this is my slate. This one is particularly nostalgic. It's, but it's people kind of moving through their lives, it's like kind of the joy of connection and interaction. Like, I love a landscape, but this is kind of like an animal.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, so they're whimsical. I don't want to be sentimental, but I want to be, I just love human connection, and I love to explore that, and an interaction with the environment too, like people's surroundings and their passions, and how they immerse themselves in those passions is really kind of what I'm about lately.
That is so neat. And art does that. Art makes a really neat connection with people. So I think, I thought this was going to be a 20-minute conversation, and we are already over 40 minutes. And it's good. But you know what? I'm going to keep you on for a minute. I'm going to show 3 pieces that I did for the show.
Yes, please do.
All right. We got this guy.
Oh, so good.
We did this guy. Had to do a cow. I kind of did a variety of things, because I paint cows. I was purely figurative as a younger artist.
And I love your figurative pieces.
Yeah, I used to only paint people. I used to think, why would I paint landscape? But now it's the other way.
Now you do it all. Yeah, but your trees are very figurative. Like, don't you think? Like, I still see them as figurative. Your work.
Like the animals and things,
and even your trees. That there's something about that.
They could get very animated, and then a nice sunset.
Oh, your colors, incredible.
It's so fun. Well, you're very colorful too. So everybody, I want to thank you. Is there anything that you think I've missed, Jen?
No. Oh, but I wanted to say about the shipping.
Yes,
we should talk, because in Canada, I use FreightCom, and it's like they bid on shipping. I sent something to the States during the strike. It took 2 days. So
perfect.
There's a lot.
With FreightCom, do you have to have a business license, or can you sign up?
I don't. You just have a name. Like, you just.
So it's freightcom.com, everybody. If you don't want to go to that extent, what FreightCom does is it's kind of like a broker. You put in your address, your postal code, the size and weight of your package, and it tells you what the price is for all the different shippers. So it'll give you FedEx and UPS and DHL, and you choose the one in the time, because there'll be different time frames too. And they're really great.
Yeah, they pick up at your house, and you can print your customs form. It was like so slick. I highly recommend.
Yeah. I think that's what we're going to send out is that notification to everybody as to how to do that. So that's fantastic. So let's housekeep a little bit. It's shop.squarefootshow.com on the night if you don't want to go through the website and want to hit the link exactly. But squarefootshow.com is going to get you there. When the show goes live, you hit the link and it'll take you right there. Buy one at a time, or you can live wild and buy, try to gather up what you're getting and see if it's still in your cart when you hit it. The Shop Pay app is fantastic for that. The show goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So where Jen is, it would be 6. Where Jodie was, it would be 5. So be aware of those, your time slot in wherever you are in the world. We don't ship free outside of Canada and the US. So you will see an additional shipping charge if you're in England or something like that. But I don't think it's exorbitant. So don't worry. And I think that's it. And sign up for the newsletter. And to win.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now I've got to log off and make sure I save all this properly. Good luck. Good luck. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck in the show.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Okay, I'm ending the stream.